All right, so we're going to chat a little bit today about perimeter, circumference, and area. So, perimeter is the sum of the lengths of the sides of a figure, and area is the number of square units it encloses. So, it's the space in the middle, the shaded part. Circumference is perimeter for circles. Okay, so you see how the circle part of this diagram doesn't have a P. It's just C for circumference. Okay. So you've probably seen some of these before. Like the area of a square is just going to be like S times S. The perimeter is all four added together. Area of a rectangle is base times height. Perimeter is adding all of the sides together. Same for a triangle, but the area is 1/2 base times height. And that's because a triangle is half a rectangle. And then for a circle, the circumference is 2 pi r or pi d, and the area is pi r squared. So let's do an example of each. So perimeter, it's all the side lengths are 9. So it's 36 all the way around. And the area is going to be 9 times 9 since it's base times height. So 81. Sometimes it'll be units, sometimes it'll just be unitless, which is probably my bad. All of them should have units, but area is square units and perimeter is just the units. It's squared like that because area is made up of tiles. It's not made up of just adding lengths together. Let's do this one next. So whenever you see a dotted line or a line through the middle or along the side, that's going to be your height. And this must be our base then, because the base is perpendicular to the height, meaning that it makes a right angle. So when we find area and it's 1/2 base times height, we choose the height, which is 4, and then the base has to go with it. It has to, like where the square is, basically. That's the right angle. So this is 18. And the perimeter is just adding up all the sides around. So this equals 21.2. So this will be units, and this will be units squared. Okay. The rectangle is one of my favorites, just because it's so simple. Those little lines, remember, they mean that they're the same. So these double lines are saying that the 7s match and the 4s match here. So the perimeter, you just add up all of them, which is 22 inches. The formula says you do double the 4 plus double the 7. Either one is cool. It's still 22 no matter what. And then the area is just base times height. And it's area, so it's tiles. It's like squares. So like if this was inch by inch, a 1 by 1, there's 28 of those. And then the circle is the most unique out of all of them, but their circumference is 2 pi r, and the area is pi r squared. So the radius is 7. Remember, the radius is like it's just from the center to the edge. And 14 pi is just about equal to 40.0. And the radius is 7. So this is 49 pi, which equals 153.9. So that means the distance around is 4 inches or whatever, and inside there's 154 little boxes. Maybe those are like square inches. Okay. We could have a complicated figure. So this is like a DVD or something. It wants us to know the shaded region. So we can set up an equation based on the picture. The shaded region, kind of like the blue shaded region there, is going to be the area of the large circle minus the area of the small circle. So yeah, imagine that you had this area, the big one, and you subtracted this, you're going to get this, right? So what's the large area? Well, the distance across the diameter is 100, and this is called the diameter, is 120, but the radius would just be 60. And this radius here would be 25. So I know the answer is going to be pi big R squared minus pi little r squared, where it's pi 60 squared minus pi 25 squared. And then if you pull out your calculator and square those, you get 3600 pi minus 625 pi. And you can actually, you could just type that in your calculator, or, this is kind of like combining like terms, right? So I think this should be 2975 pi. Let me pull out my calculator and make sure that I did that right. Yep. So that number, remember, this is multiplication here. So that number, so if I said times and then the pi button on my calculator, that is my answer, and it's in square units since it's area. Let's see if that checks. Yep. All right. And then we could have an area that's made up of several, it's called a composite figure, like this running track here. So this running track has a rectangle, and then it also has 2 half circles. So I could say that the area is a half circle plus the rectangle plus the half circle. And we know that those half circles are actually the same. So the area is really a full circle plus the rectangle. The area formula here is pi r squared. The area formula for the rectangle is base times height. So, and it looks like the diameter is 100. So the radius here is half that, 50. And then the base is 212 times 100. Okay, so could try and simplify some of this down. So if we type 2500 times pi equals plus 21200. That checks out too. Okay, so that is the area inside the track, and we used area formulas to find that. All right, thank you.